So I'm also gonna talk about football games. I've stopped reporting about NFL signings just because I don't have the time, just with schoolwork and all that stuff. But I still want to do football games, so I'm gonna do that. So let's get into Chiefs Texans, which was the Thursday night game, first game of the NFL season. Let's get into it. All right, before I get into some stats for you, let's get into a little quick run through of this game. So Houston had the lead at the end of the first, and then Kansas City they led halftime with a 17-7 lead. They actually had a field goal with a couple of seconds left. There was a 50-second drive or something like that, and they were able. That offense is really good, and that was huge in this game. Even though they won by more than 3 points, to go 17-7 at halftime was huge to make it a 2-possession game. Now let's go to the third, and the Chiefs would score 1 touchdown, and the Texans, this was the only quarter that they outscored the Chiefs, would outscore them by 3. The Texans would have 13, and the Chiefs would have 10. But the final score, it was pretty much too late by then, and the final score was 34-20. First thing that comes to mind when we're talking about this game is Clyde Edwards-Helaire. The Chiefs' first-round pick from this year, he played amazing tonight. He had, on 25 carries, he had 138 yards, and he averaged 5.5 yards per carry and had 1 touchdown. Now that we talked about Clyde, let's talk about Patrick Mahomes. He was 24 of 32 out of passes today. He had 211 yards and 3 touchdowns and no interceptions. The offensive line was really good in this game, where they only had 1 sack, or they only allowed 1 sack, and that 1 sack it was an 8-yard loss in that play, but 1 sack's amazing. The offensive line for the Chiefs were very good in this game. The Texans only got 3 QB hits on the quarterback overall in the game. That includes the sack. J.J. Watt would have 2 of those QB hits, and Jacob Martin would have the other one. Let's go into the wide receivers and tight ends and running backs, how they did receiving the ball today. Now, Sammy Watkins, he did amazing today. Out of the 9 targets, he catched 7 of them, and he had 82 yards today, which is an average of 11.7. He also had a touchdown in this game. Travis Kelce, he was doing his thing today. He did not drop a ball that was thrown to him. 6 of 6. He had 50 yards today, and he also had a touchdown, and he averaged 8.3 per catch. Tyreek Hill, he only missed 1 catch today, 5 of 6. Caught 5 of them, and out of 6 targets, he had 46 yards and 9.2 average per catch. Let's talk about the defense for the Chiefs. Now, Chris Jones, he played amazing today. He had 3 solo tackles and 4 tackles overall. He also had 1.5 sacks, and he had 2 QB hits. Tyrann Mathieu played well today. He had 8 tackles, 6 solo tackles, and he also had a QB hit. And overall, the Kansas City defense played pretty good today. They had 7 QB hits, and they also had an interception of L'Jarius Sneed. That's pretty much a summary of the Chiefs defense. Let's go to Houston Texans recap, part of this game, I guess, whatever you want to call it. Texans, they did not play too well today. Deshaun Watson, he was 20 of 32 from the or I guess from, I don't know what you call it, but he completed 20 of his 32 passes or thrown. He had 253 yards, averaged 7.9 per down, and he had 1 touchdown. He also had an interception to Sneed. I think it was in the third quarter, something like that. And he did not have, I guess, so much help from the offensive line. There were 4 sacks today by the Chiefs, and that resulted in 11 negative yards for the Texans. Now, Darius Johnson, who was picked up in the DeAndre Hopkins trade, he played okay tonight. They're going to force feed him the ball a lot, I think, because that's kind of what they traded DeAndre Hopkins for him, so, they're going to kind of have to, they're going to show his worth. He had 11 carries, 77 yards, he averaged 7.0 yards per carry, and had 1 touchdown. Deshaun Johnson also had a running touchdown as well. Now let's go to the receiving core for the Houston Texans. Will Fuller, he played good tonight. He had 8 receptions on 10 targets, 112 yards, which is huge. David Johnson, he had 3 receptions off 4 targets and had 32 yards. Now, there's one more thing I want to mention about this game. I don't really want to mention the Texans defense because it's hard to, they didn't do well statistically, or they didn't do too bad statistically. You're playing the Chiefs offensively. You just got to match them in scoring. They're a really good offensive team. It's really hard to stop them. I do want to mention that Konami Fairbairn, he missed 1 of his field goals today, but he did make his 2 extra points. In comparison with Kansas City's kicker, Harrison Butker, he was 2 of 2 with his field goals and made his 4 extra points. Now that's all I got today. I know this seemed like a lot like stat hunting. I'm trying this new thing. This is all experimental for me. I've watched football for forever, but analyzing is a little bit different for me, and I relied a little too much on the box score tonight. But yeah, that's really it. Like and subscribe, and check out other videos of mine.